Right.
I can see why you enjoy being on a boat.
You feel me, bro?
Oh,
Like, look, I don't care what you try to
man.
tell me. If you feel awkward, you're not gonna feel awkward.
No, I get you.
You feel great, man. It's a great day. Great day to be alive.
Hold on, let me let the hair flow, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Like you feel it. You feel the energy. You feel the energy, bro.
Man, we vibe.
I wanna wrestle. Fuck it.
Welcome back to another episode of the Boat Club Podcast. I'm your co-host, EJ West. We got the big man, Brandon OJ Bam Moore. And today we have another very special and exciting guest, the international wrestling superstar, Dante El Jaguar Casanova. Dante, welcome to the Boat Club Podcast.
Thank you for having me, man. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's an honor to have you on, man, to say the very least. And as we do every single time, man, we love to hop right into the topic, man. The meat and potatoes of what we're going to do today. So the first question we want to ask you, brother, is how did you get into wrestling, right? Like, what led you initially into the sport of wrestling?
For sure.
So I was always a fan. As a kid growing up, I was always a fan. I know I used to stay up all Monday night watching wrestling. Monday Night Raw was my thing.
Yes,
I was a
sir.
big John Cena guy.
John Cena.
I was a big John Cena guy. And unfortunately, you know, he just announced he's going to retire after 2025. He's done, which is heartbreaking to me because that was my hero.
Yeah.
You know, as a kid growing up, that was my guy. So I remember just staying up late nights watching it, Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown. You know, WWE was my life as a kid. That's all I knew. Man. So I never really had aspirations to do it. I was always just intrigued by it. You know, you grow up, you do other things, you find other interests, whether it be football, amateur wrestling in high school, or whatever the case is. You know, you grow up. But somewhere in there, there's always still that love for it. And I rediscovered it when I came back home from the military and whatnot. So
that's what's up.
I came back and I didn't know what I was going to do with my life. And I was doing construction, and my girlfriend at the time noticed that I was starting to slowly, you know, fall into a dark place because I was lost in the world. I didn't have any purpose. So she told me, like, you know, what interests you? Like, what gets you going? And I was like, you know, I don't really have a whole lot of interest that I would rather, like, dive into full-heartedly other than working out with fitness or professional wrestling. I love wrestling.
That's dope.
Like, did you say that off the rip, like wrestling off the rip, or like did you?
So I was starting to rediscover it. So like when I rediscovered it, I dove, you know, head into it, and I started to get that little bug, like, you know, how come they can do it, or why can't I do it too?
I feel you.
So when I started to do a lot of, you know, research on it, and when she started talking to me about it, that's when I really, really started to, you know, play with it in my mind. Like, what if I did it too?
Yeah.
You know, what's stopping me from doing it?
I tell EJ all the time, right? So 7 years ago, you know, I'm just getting out of college playing basketball, and you know, I gained a lot of weight. Yeah. But you know, being from that fitness background, like, you know that your better version is you in shape. You know, you know what I'm saying?
100%.
And so I had gained a little bit of weight. I was like 300 pounds. We're running, and like at first I was thinking like, yo, I'm gonna be a bodybuilder. I'm like, because I know, like, being at least in physical shape, I'll feel better. I was like, I'm gonna be a bodybuilder. That's what I'm gonna do. And I'm like, I mean, really, bro. I was like, after knowing what being a bodybuilder entails, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
So then I was like, we were running the lake, and I was like, bro, I can do what these guys do. Like Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua, those are the big guys at the time. I was like, bro, I know I can do what they do. I know I can go out there and make my body at least move how theirs moves, right?
Right.
And you know, 7 years later, just like, cause I asked you, like, did you automatically know wrestling, or did you, like, after wrestling with it a little bit, you're like, maybe it's wrestling, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I feel, cause I went through the same kind of thing. I was like, is it boxing or is it bodybuilding?
Right.
And then it's like, it's not bodybuilding. It's something that keeps me in shape, keeps me active, keeps me doing what I want to do.
Yeah, no, I get you 100%. And it was the same with me. Like, I wouldn't necessarily say I knew immediately that it was wrestling.
That's real. That's
you know,
real.
I wanted to do bodybuilding as well, either bodybuilding or powerlifting. I've always loved the fitness industry.
That's real.
So any way, shape, or form that keeps me in shape, you know, I loved it. Yeah. And I never really thought about doing the whole wrestling gig because I never really liked the attention.
Yeah,
you know, growing up, I was always a shy kid. I was always isolated. I didn't like to be around people and whatnot. And I noticed that started to affect me growing up because, like, I didn't really like meeting new people. I didn't like getting out of my comfort zone. And, like, that's not a way to live, in my opinion. You know, you're so secluded. You miss out on a lot of opportunities.
You do.
So I was like, you know what? Let me actually try this out. Let me get uncomfortable. Let me get comfortable being uncomfortable. Let me dive into this whole new world that I know nothing about, but I absolutely admire.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, after talking with my girlfriend at the time, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna I'm gonna do it, but I'm not gonna just test it out. I'm gonna do it all the way.
1,000%.
I'm gonna give it my all.
So let me
That's when
ask
I
you this.
decided. That's when I decided I was gonna become a wrestler.
Let me ask you this, because a sport like baseball, basketball, boxing, football, we have an idea of what getting into those spaces look like,
Yeah.
right? You know, in order to be a boxer, okay, you find a training gym, you go, you talk to your coach, or, you know what I'm saying, you let them know you're interested. You know what it looked like because it's out there,
Yeah.
right? In terms of your steps to getting into wrestling, what does that look like? Where do you go to get into learning? You know what I'm saying?
That's a good question because it's tough. Not everybody knows
Yeah,
because
like
it's not often you meet a professional wrestler that
At
tells
all.
you how to become a professional wrestler. So
Real.
I did a
real.
lot of research. I did a lot of research online, a lot of podcast listening, a lot of like documentaries and whatnot. And what I came to find out was there's people that'll train you to be a wrestler, but not every trainer should be a trainer. You got to have someone reputable, someone who's been where you want to be, someone who's done the goals that you want to achieve and whatnot, someone who's well respected in the industry, someone who's going to take care of you and not just take your money and just throw you out, you know, and hurt yourself or whatnot.
Yes,
So I did a lot of research and I found my trainers to train me, paid my dues, paid my money, went through the training camp, and they gave me their blessing. They're very respected in the wrestling industry, and they ended up, you know, saying, hey, you're ready, you know what you're going to do, you know what to do when you're in the ring now, you know how to protect yourself, how to protect others. Now just go out and learn how to actually do it.
That's dope.
But I got the fundamentals by finding the right school to train me.
That's real. That's real. Did you, so being like, were you a wrestler in high school or did you wrestle?
No, I played football.
Okay. So
Yeah, I played football and I was also in JROTC.
Okay, where are you from?
I grew up here all my life, here in Winter Haven.
Oh, Winter Haven.
Winter Haven.
Oh,
yep.
that's real. Okay, real Polk County product.
Yes,
I
sir.
love it.
Yes,
I
sir.
love
I
it.
went to Jewish School of the Arts coming up. You know what I'm saying? I went to Jewish. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
I'm a Blue Devil, man.
There we go.
Blue Devil for life, you know?
That's real. That's real. That's real.
So, the name El Jaguar,
Yes.
right? What inspired you to have that name?
So I'm first generation Mexican American. My family immigrated here from Mexico. They started up their life here and gave me an opportunity to, you know, have the freedoms of being an American citizen as well as being very proud of my heritage. I'm very, very proud of, you know, where I come from, my family
Check out the
history,
prop.
my
That's dope.
heritage. You see it right there, the Jaguar right there.
That's dope,
In
bro.
Aztec cultures, the Jaguar is a symbol of like pride and power and whatnot. Like the Jaguar Knights was one of the highest honors that an Aztec warrior could get in the military at the time.
That's dope.
You know, they were highly respected. They were revered as like gods almost. So being first generation here, I wanted to bring my heritage from the motherland to my new home.
That's
So I wanted to show a little love
That's
to
dope. That's
where I come from. So the Jaguar, very proud, very powerful, very just prestigious
Love that, bro.
symbol of my history. So that's where El Jaguar comes from.
It gives, that's dope, man. It gives me Alex Pajeda type vibe. You know what I'm saying? My man is embodying who he is and where he's from, man.
That's real.
And I think that's a very dope thing. So I think the next question is, because of course you get guys, you know what I'm saying, y'all talk before we hit record, but you get guys saying, oh, wrestling's fake, wrestling this. There's nothing fake about jumping off an 8-foot, 10-foot rope.
Man, hold
you
up,
know what I'm saying?
Paul. Wrestling
There's
fake.
Ah,
Wrestling fake. Is it fake?
look, man, I tell
Yeah,
you,
no, to the truth, but like I'm gonna say I'm speaking from the outside looking in.
right.
Wrestling's fake. Now you're from the inside looking out, doing it. Is wrestling fake? Let them know.
My injuries aren't fake. I tell you what, I wake up every day with aches and pains, whether that be in my knees, whether that be my back or my neck. I tell you what,
That's real.
my job is to suspend your belief. So if you go in there thinking wrestling's fake, you're not gonna have a good time. Why come? Why give me your money to watch me
real.
do what I do? But if you come in there with a little bit of lightheartedness and just accept it for what it is, it's entertainment. Are you entertained? Do you have a moment like, ooh, that might have actually been painful?
Yeah,
Again,
yeah.
my aches and pains aren't fake. You know, the people that I've
Yeah.
known that can't do this no more, that ain't fake. You can't fake an injury. So whether it be fake
Yeah.
or not in your mind, that's up to you. But I'll tell you what, you get in that ring with me, ain't nothing fake about me in that
That's
ring.
real.
Ain't nothing fake about me in that ring.
Yo,
You gotta be that.
I did a promo for one of my fights before like probably like a year ago. I did a promo, and the guy, like, we were just practicing in this ring in Orlando, and I'm like, bro, you gotta learn body displacement because you're hitting that ground, like you said before before the camera started rolling. You're hitting that ground. It's like you're getting hit by a car going 35 miles an hour, bro, and it's like you're doing that over and over again. You gotta learn how to displace it,
Yep.
not get injured, not get hit, man. People, it looks so much fun. Like the entertainment looks
Right.
so much fun.
Yeah.
until it's like you're really trying to be great and then you're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and nobody understands like the craft of it, like what that does to your body, your mental. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Do people like what I'm doing? Do people not like what I'm doing? So man, I respect it, bro. Like when I heard that you were coming on, bro, I was like, man, to be like it's different if when you want to be a wrestler for like 6 months.
Yeah,
You know,
for sure.
And then when you want to be a wrestler for like, 6 years, 10 years, that changes the whole dynamic. It's not I love it every day. It's like
Right.
I gotta go to work now. You know what I'm saying? And I
Absolutely.
respect that for sure.
and two, anytime again, follow them on social media, you guys see first and foremost the guy's training, right? So the proof is in the pudding. You see somebody weight training like that day in and day out, you know that they understand the preparation it takes to, do what it is you're doing. So I think my question is this, right? Again, boxing, any sport, basketball, you're free flowing, right?
Mhm.
With wrestling, it's in a sense scripted in a way, correct?
It can be.
So
yes.
with that being said, like, what is the preparation for those events look like, right? Do you guys drill things for an hour, and kind of go
Right.
sequence by sequence, or how does the preparation?
So it really
look
just depends on the wrestler and what the promoter wants as well. There are some things where it's like, hey, we need this particular aspect of the match,
Mhm.
or we need you to focus in on this key point for the match to continue the story or whatever. But where I say it differs from person to person is some professional wrestlers, they have to have everything planned out in their mind. Oh, I have to do this, because sometimes they get lost and they get uncomfortable being lost.
Gotcha.
Whereas a more experienced, a more comfortable professional wrestler knows how to, we call it go on the fly.
Mhm.
Whereas like, we don't know necessarily where we're going
That's
or
what
how
I'm
to
getting
get
at.
there,
Yeah.
but we know what the end result's gonna be. And I
gotcha.
know I can do this or whatever, and I can play with this or put this here or put this there. But I know at the end of the day, we have to hit this particular point. So I can have fun with it and have a lot of like improvisation or have a lot of fun. Most of my fun matches come from working on the fly because you don't know what you're gonna do. So you can't mess up because nothing's planned out. You just go out there, you feel the crowd, you feel the energy, you feel your opponent, and you feel how you're feeling. Like, maybe I want to do this. Let me test this out. Okay, it works. Cool. Now I know that I can do this on the fly if I ever do get lost, which in professional wrestling, if you know what you're doing, you don't get lost. You just find a new way how to get where you're going. You see what I'm saying?
But here's the thing. That's why, again, information is powerful because, again, we grew up watching wrestling, right? And
Right.
I think that, they practice every sequence in like a play almost, right? So you're saying it is a free flow.
Right.
You know the end goal, but in terms of getting there, right? You guys are collabing off
Absolutely.
each other.
100%.
Absolutely.
Do you stay locked in?
I'm always locked in, man. There's not a moment in the day where I'm not locked in.
You feel it
whether
on,
that be with the diet, whether that be with the sleep regimen, that be with the training, the mindset. We're locked in 24/7,
So
man.
preparing for your event, again, you have an event in Tampa. What day is that?
Actually, Poughkeepsie, New York. That's coming up this Saturday.
Yeah, New York. Awesome. So what does a day-to-day look like as you're preparing for the fight? If you can give us your start morning till how's the night end?
So I also have a job. I have a regular job and whatnot to support, whatever I'm lacking funds or whatever, just so I can live more comfortably. I have a regular job. So I do my job from 7 to 6:30. After that, it's straight to the gym, whether that be for an hour, whether that be for 2 hours, or even if it's 30 minutes. I get what I can, but we go train, whatnot. But throughout that time, I'm watching film, taking notes from other wrestlers that I want to, I aspire to be, or some that inspire me and whatnot. Or I'm on the phone or texting back and forth creative with other promoters and whatnot, thinking of like, hey, how can I adjust my character a little bit or whatever the case. I'm always looking for ways to expand my knowledge and learn new tricks of the craft and whatnot. But I'm always thinking wrestling. I'm always, even when I'm not thinking wrestling, I'm thinking of wrestling because it's like, how can I change my diet to help me perform better in the ring to where I'm not sluggish, where I look in better shape, my workout regimens, what's gonna help me not only get stronger but also keep me flexible enough to where I'm not super tight or I'm not always hurting during a match. How can I better myself with flexibility or athleticism, or how can I lift heavier weights? There's always everything I do from day to day, minute to minute, hour to hour is like, how can I better perform as Dante Casanova?
1% better every day.
Every day, man. Every day.
1%. Like if you got like it's really, I'm in the middle of camp right now. If you just get up and take a walk, right?
Right.
And somebody else did it, you got a little bit better. Even if your body hurts, if you can fight through that little bit of if you got up and you did, the other person didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? So,
I love the mindset of like, I don't want to do this workout or whatever. And I love doing it because it's such a much more fulfillment where it's like, you know what? That's the workout that mattered. Because if I would have taken that day off, my opponent could have did it and he could have got better than me that day. And that could cost me a match. That can cost me a championship.
That is on that note, what I would love to lead up to next is recovery, right? Again, a lot of wear and tear, a lot of banging, bruising, slamming. You guys are going 100 miles an hour. What does your recovery process look like?
So there's a lot that, I sometimes lack with recovery, but there's also some things that I tend to do. Obviously, first and foremost, sleep. Sleep is one of the most important things you can do to recover your body from whatever, either that be injury or even lifestyle. If you don't have enough sleep, your body's not having that time to recover. So I prioritize sleep over anything. Sleep and fuel, obviously, whether that be your food or your hydration, your electrolytes, all that stuff. Make sure all that's good so your body has the energy to obviously heal itself. But also, I take care of myself in the gym. I make sure I'm stretching what hurts and making sure I'm not pushing myself to the point to where I'm not letting my injuries heal by just continuing to push through it. Obviously everyone has that mindset, like, I got to push through a little bit past this pain, but you got to be careful. Sometimes egos can get the better of you, and that's where you can really get hurt. So making sure that, my training is adequate for my injuries. A lot of massages, get a lot of massages and whatnot. A lot of, I honestly started personally doing a little bit of yoga. And I've noticed that that's starting to help a lot. Yoga is really,
sleeper.
Yoga.
where do you do yoga at?
I don't go anywhere in particular. I'm actually just doing it, like I'm learning from videos and whatnot online. So I'm taking notes here and there, and I'm picking up from a couple instructors that I know that do yoga and whatnot.
Okay, cool.
So, do a little bit of that stuff.
Man, I might have to get you in, man. Yoga Point, man. Yoga Point's a great place to go. It's in Lakeland, Florida, man. They sponsor me. Great place, man. You should check it out. It's hot yoga, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So, we be needing that, a normal workout for us really be a warm-up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So sometimes that, like, we go into like a 150-degree room, probably 45 minutes, and then you're in there with a whole bunch of elder. I probably shouldn't say older. So, but you in there and you just getting loose. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's wild because I'm getting back into it now because I took probably 2 or 3 months off. It's wild. Like when you're in the beginning of your career, you don't notice, but you do a lot more stuff. Than you do like when you become a veteran. You're like, I can take this out. You can take this out, and sometimes that can be to your detriment, and sometimes that can be to you're not your detriment. But like what I've noticed is like, when you become a veteran, you try to like pick and choose because you can't do it all.
Right.
Like you can't doing it all sometimes gets you injured. You know what I'm saying? So right now in the middle of my my fight camp is like you gotta know what to add, and I'm getting back into the yoga as well. That's a vibe.
Absolutely,
definitely a vibe. You gotta come to hot yoga if you ever got time. I got a free member. I got a free partner where you get to come in with me.
Let me know, man. We'll figure something out for sure.
You stay in Winter Haven?
Yeah, I stay right here in Winter Haven for sure.
Okay, that's real, definitely. Man, you said something earlier like that I want to like jump on too. That people don't understand like what kind of locked in you are.
Right.
You said that you wake up every day and you go to work from 7 to 6. And then, so that means you're locked in all day.
All day.
And then when you leave there, you go hard again because your dream has to still go on.
Yeah.
And I heard that and I'm like, people don't, they sleep on it. They think that you just got this cake life.
No.
Like where you're like, oh, I'm a wrestler. That's all I do. Like, no, to make this dream happen, I got to put this type of work in every day. And one day is 365 days. That's your one day. You get what I'm saying? And they don't understand that, man. So I respect that. Like when I hear that, like somebody going after their dream, doing whatever it takes, like sleep doesn't mix well with dreams.
Right. Absolutely.
You feel me?
There are a lot of sleepless nights for sure.
You feel me? Because you got to have them, right? Like how bad do you really want it?
Absolutely.
You feel me? So I respect it. I wanted to say that earlier.
Yeah, man. And on that note, we like to dig into the meat and potatoes of, the substance of who you are, things that you've gone through. One of the big things, again, you guys know we push mental health every single day because it is essential and most men suffer in silence. So check on your guys, check on your people. And on that, we want to pivot into, of course, you're doing a lot, you're entertaining, right? You're working your job, you have, family around you, brother. So if you could give us the spin on what does a tough day look like for you, and what is something that helps you push through tough times, right? Because you go through adversity, right?
Absolutely,
you
for
go
sure.
Through tough days, man. So what does that look like for you?
I mean, obviously, there are some tough days, whether that be personal or with the business of professional wrestling. Professional wrestling is a tough industry to break into and achieve your goals. So some of the hardships that we face is just the you see people that achieve their goals almost immediately, and you know in the back of your mind, I don't want to sound cocky, but like I'm better than them. I know I can do what they're doing on a higher platform. I know 100% if I get that opportunity, I will knock it out of the park better than they ever would. So sometimes you see that and it's like, why are they getting this opportunity? Why is that not me? What is my work not enough? Am I not training to, the best of my ability? Am I lacking something? Am I not meant to be in this business? Because obviously I'm putting in all this work, and sometimes I forego a lot of celebrations. I forego a lot of meetups with friends or families or reunions or whatever the case is, because I'm training so hard for my goals and achievements and my dreams, and that can be tough on people. You're missing out on birthdays, you're missing out on weddings, you're missing out on, reunions, it doesn't matter. There's a lot of things that you're missing out on because I want this. I will not sleep, I will not rest easy until I achieve what I know I can achieve.
I can't sleep.
There's nights where I'm staying awake. It's like, what am I lacking? There's something that's missing, and I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna find out what it is. So those will definitely keep me up at night. And what I've learned recently that has helped me, because I grew up, old school Hispanic. Men are tough. Men, we don't share our emotions. We don't cry. We keep it to ourselves. We keep it pushing.
Yes, sir.
And growing up, that's all I ever knew. So I never knew what it was like to sit down one-on-one with like a friend or a family member and be like, "Look, man, I'm hurting. I need help. Someone listen to me." I've never had that talk growing up because that just wasn't in my forte. But growing up and noticing how it can affect your mental and how it can affect your personal life, I've slowly started, opening up to my brother or my dad or, some of my best friends. And it's like, it can be uncomfortable. But again, like I said earlier, I'm learning to be uncomfortable. So it's like, having that conversation is so much more beneficial than just thinking nobody cares about how I feel because it's not affecting them. When in reality, how I'm acting can affect them, because it's like, oh, you're not the same person I knew or the same person that I was friends with, or you're not the son that I grew up, you're not the brother that I grew up with, So your mental health can affect other people
1000%.
because you're acting different. You're not as energetic as you once were. You're not as open to doing things with other people as you once used to be because you're battling those demons inside your head. So I've learned how to open up to my brother or my father or whatnot. I've learned how to have those uncomfortable conversations with them where it's like, look, I'm hurting. I know there's not really a whole lot you can do, but I just need to be heard. I just need to let this out of my mind. Otherwise, it's going to continue to cloud my judgment. It's going to continue to cloud my vision. And in turn, it's going to affect me a lot more if I just keep it inside me.
My God.
So just please listen to me for once.
Here's my question, right? Who do you like want to inspire? I know you're probably like, I don't know if you're in the world and you see who you're inspiring, but who do you want to inspire? Who's that person that you want to hear this and you want them to see this and be like, you know what? I hope that, this is a good impact on them. You know what I'm saying? Who's that person?
So I don't have a particular person in mind, just anybody who's ever thought like, hey, this is a dream that I want to do, but I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I'm the right person for it, or I don't know if it's in the cards for me. Okay. Nobody ever knows what's in the cards for them until you play your cards. So if I can inspire anyone to just try to achieve their goals, that's a win for me. Because I never had anybody that was telling me you can do this or this is what you're meant to be. It was always like, my father always told me, there ain't nothing to it but to do it. And that means a lot to me, because it's like, if I think that maybe I can try this professional wrestling, but I'm afraid I'm gonna fail, so I'm not gonna try it because I'm afraid of failure. Everybody's afraid of failure, but if you at least attempt it and you give it your all,
you didn't fail.
You sometimes you won't fail. And if you don't fail, you can rest easy when you're 80 years old, all crippled and whatnot from doing this wrestling gig. But at least I can lay in bed thinking, you know what, damn it, I did what I wanted to do. And I gave it my all.
And to highlight, the mental health spin, bro, I love it because, again, we say most men suffer in silence. The international wrestling superstar, right? If he is working on himself, being vulnerable, having conversations with friends, brothers, family members of that nature, right? And he's in such a masculine space, it's our duty to understand that this is an essential. This is needed because, again, when you hear suicide, right? You hear somebody killed themselves, who do you immediately think did it? The man, right? Right? You don't, what I'm saying? Like, let's be honest. When you hear suicide, when you hear things of that nature, you think men, because most men are, the protectors, providers, they have the firearm, right? So again, if he's doing it on that scale, man, let's just, again, one of our goals is to make these conversations more trendy, right? The meat and potatoes of who he is and what he's done is so dope, right? But again, to share the vulnerable piece of, I talk to people, I reach out to people to get that, help when I need it is everything. And again, our mission statement is the power of healing through conversation. So we appreciate you for sharing that note.
Absolutely.
That is dope because again, somebody's gonna see that. Somebody's looking up to you already who probably didn't hear that, right? Didn't expect that, right? So we appreciate that. And to pivot into, again, your future, right, in the sport of wrestling, if you could share with us, what is a 2025 goal, or goal that you have, in the sport of wrestling coming up?
2025, there's a lot of goals that I want. I want everything in the wrestling business, but we start small goals, we'll go from there. So honestly, just being the top guy in every promotion that I'm wrestling for.
That's dope.
Whether that be at NWA Exodus in Ohio, or that be, in Rebel Spirit in Massachusetts, or wherever the case is, anywhere that I go, I'm coming for that top spot. That is my goal for 2025. Everywhere that I wrestle, I am going to be the top dog. I am going to be the bar standard for professional wrestling in that company. So that is my top goal. I don't need the accolades of being the champion or whatever the case is. That doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is the respect and the level of entertainment that I bring to the company. I want to be able to be that guy that the promoter or the owner of the company is like, you know what? I need a banger of a match. I need the best match of the night. Give me Dante Casanova in that ring.
My God.
Anyone that I can put against Dante Casanova, I know they're going to have a good match. That is my goal, to not have a bad match in professional wrestling in 2025.
Hey, let me ask you this. What was it like wrestling over in Europe?
Man, it was a treat for sure. It was my first time ever leaving the United States to go, across the pond. But they're different. They're a lot more appreciative of what you do.
Really?
Yeah, it's a different audience because like over here in the United States, there's wrestling everywhere and whatnot. And anyone can be a wrestler and whatnot. So anyone can run a show here or there. So a lot of times fans are like, "Oh, I've seen this," or it's not as big of a spectacle sometimes.
But over there,
it's so tightly close knit. So over there, they appreciate you for everything that you do. They understand the ins and outs of wrestling, where it's like, okay, you're the bad guy, you're the good guy, whatever. I know what I'm supposed to do, but at the end of the day, you're putting your life on the line, so I appreciate it more. And it's more so, it's like for me coming to Europe over there, it was like, oh, you are actually coming yourself to a whole different area, and you're expanding yourself, So it's like, oh, I appreciate you for coming to entertain me. So it's, in my opinion, it's a lot more appreciative. They respect you a whole lot more. They're more engaged. It was some of the rowdiest crowds I ever been in when I was over there in Europe. It was a great time for sure.
So I want to ask this, man, and we're not gonna hold you too much longer, but one thing that I harped on is you said growing up you were this shy, reserved. You weren't really wanting to put yourself out there.
Yeah.
Man, you're an international wrestler now, right? One, two, you're traveling the world doing this and that. But you're also on Steven Styles, new movie, Body and Soul, bro.
Yes.
So coming from this guy who's, you know what I'm saying, not in front of the camera to now, bro, you are that. Man, what was that experience like being in a movie, man?
It was awesome because it was not anything I've ever pictured was in the cards for me. I never really thought myself. Again, I was shy as a kid. I never liked the attention and whatnot. So I never thought I would be, in a movie, let alone the lead character of a movie. So again, just trying to be uncomfortable, just trying to better my craft and whatnot. But I looked at it as an experience, as a way to further dive into a character that could potentially transition or translate to wrestling. How could I use this character to better enhance my Dante Casanova in the ring? How can I get in that mindset like, hey, I'm not necessarily, I'm not Roy. Being my real name, Roy, I'm not Roy in this movie. I'm a whole different character. So how can I change the wiring of my mind? How can I get rid of that shy, reserved kid? And how can I be this lead character in a movie? How can I demand the attention, or how can I entertain these people in something that I don't normally do on my everyday basis?
Okay,
bro.
That's real. Well, what do the tattoos mean you have? I know you kind of.
Yeah, so I have
Can you show us?
I get the tribal vibe. I love it. I get the tribal vibe,
man. Some people got to pay to see me like that. You know what I'm saying? But obviously, I have a Dragon Ball Z sleeve.
Real.
It's my favorite anime TV show of all time. Dragon Ball Z was as a kid, it was me. You know, I remember coming home from school and just watching Dragon Ball Z. You know, Vegeta was my guy.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a big
Goku.
Vegeta guy.
You feel
I'm telling
me?
you.
Yeah.
So, you know, I got a whole Dragon Ball Z sleeve going.
That's real.
I got my last name right here because, again, I'm very proud of, you know, where I come from and, you know, who I represent.
Yeah.
And the last name Ruiz means the world to me because of what my family did to get us to where we're at now. So very proud of my tattoo. It's also a shared tattoo with my dad. My dad has the same tattoo in the same location, same font, same color scheme. So I wanted to, you know, I'm very close to my dad. My dad was the guy in my life. So I wanted to you know, have a little bit of him, but as well, I have his name right here. I have it on the right arm because my dad, it's gonna sound a little corny, but growing up, my dad always led me in the right direction. You know what I'm saying? So I have it on the right arm. So I have my dad's name right there. I have his birthday as well.
That's not corny.
The newest one right here, this new edition, I got starting an Aztec themed sleeve. So, you know, it's kind of hard to pronounce, I'm not gonna lie. It's the Mexican hairless dog. Most people call them cholos. They have a long name. I'm not even gonna attempt to pronounce it because I would embarrass myself right now. But there's a lot of Aztec lore behind them. You know, they're a big symbol in the Aztec community and whatnot. So I have him as the start of my sleeve. We're gonna have an Aztec deity right here, another one coming up here that's coming in the works. But I have Aztec art on my chest and whatnot. You know. Again, very proud of my Aztec heritage. So I wear that, you know, on my chest, high and proud and loud. You know, everywhere I go, where I'm wrestling, that's the first thing you see. It's a chest piece.
That's real.
I have my brother's name right here because aside from my dad, my brother was my second dad. You know, my brother raised me, and I hold the relationship with my brother near and dear to my heart. And obviously, the heart's on the left side, so brother's got to be on the left side. Got him right there with his birthday. So
okay.
No, that's all the art I got right now, but you know, we're coming up with more.
So if you could do us just one favor, man, somebody's watching, somebody wants to wrestle, somebody wants to compete and motivate and get into fitness, gain weight, do whatever it is, chase their goals, man, what is a closing piece of motivation that you could give somebody chasing a dream right now?
Ain't nothing to it but to do it. You know, take that first step. The first step's always the hardest to do, but I tell you what, the first step, you get that first step out the way, the second step and the third step and the fourth step, they just come and they come and go. You go on autopilot, by the time you know it, you wake up, man, I'm literally living my dream, or I'm literally a step closer to my dream.
Right.
Ain't no one gonna achieve the work for you but you. You just gotta get up and do it, man.
We appreciate you. On that note, it's been an honor to have you, Dante. Thank you guys again for tuning in to another very special and exciting episode of the Boat Club Podcast. Boat Club with the K. The K is for keep going. Please like, please share, please comment, please subscribe, please tune in to my guy, Dante El Jaguar Casanova on all platforms, man. He is doing a lot right now, and as you can hear, 2025 is going to be a massive year for him in every aspect of his life. Thank you guys for tuning in. Until next time. Boom. Peace. El Jaguar, my guy.
El Jaguar. I'm trying to tell you, bro.